Let's talk about machine learning. In the traditional way to interact with a computer, we have some input data and we want them to be transformed into output data. To do this, a programmer has to define first an algorithm to program this algorithm into traditional language, just like C++ or Python language. So a human is necessary and has to do a lot of job. Defining an algorithm is something quite difficult for some examples, and writing a program is another difficult task too. Another approach is to use machine learning. In machine learning, we just give some examples to the computer. Examples consist in input data and the corresponding output data. And with these examples and a selection of algorithm, the machine will learn by itself how to process the data, the input data into output data. And the machine will build a program, something like we call a model. And this model, the task of this model is to transform the input data into output data for new input data, of course. So the main advantage of this second solution is that we don't have a human in the loop, and it's only the machine, the computer, which do the process needed to learn how to process data input into data output. That's what we call machine learning. So which kind of problem can we solve with a machine learning approach? We can use it for mainly two different kind of tasks, for classification or regression. A classification problem is when you want to predict a discrete class label output. Here, for example, we have an image of an animal, here a lion, and we want the computer to classify this image into one of these two classes. We want the computer to process this image and say if it's a canidae, it's a family of all the animals which looks like a dog, just like wolf, for example, or if this animal belongs to the Felidae family, which is the family of all the animals which have the same look as a cat, for example, lion or tiger, for example. So here, for this kind of task classification, the program has to put it into one of the two boxes. Put this image here or here. If it puts here, the program is right. If it puts this image here on this class, it fails, completely fails. For a regression problem is when the task is to predict a continuous quantity output. So we want to predict not a class, just here, but we want to predict a number. For example, the weight of this animal. So with this image on other data, we want to guess what is the exact weight of this animal. And here, the error may be more or less important. For example, if the real weight of this animal is 150 kilograms, if the model predicts 180 kilograms, the error is 30 kilograms. But if the model predicts 200 kilograms, the error will be 50 kilograms. So the error is more or less important, but here it's totally wrong if this animal is put in this family, or totally right if this animal is put in these classes. So here are some examples of regression on classification problems. For example, for regression, we want a traditional use case is to try to predict the house price based on characteristic of the house, just like the surface of the house, the surface of the ground, the availability of school in the area, and some other characteristics. So here we want to predict a number, the price of the house. Another example here is, for example, we want to predict the temperature of today based on atmospheric pressure, speed of wind, or humidity of today and the day before. So here we want to predict a value too. So both are regression problems because we want to predict numbers. We want to predict numbers, house price, and temperature. Other examples here is for classification problems. For example, if we have some mail and we want to predict if this mail is a spam or not a spam, a real mail. So we have two classes, spam or normal mail, and we want to sort this mail and put it in spam or not. So this is a classification problem. To teach a model, we mainly use what we call supervised learning. Supervised learning is when we have some labeled data and we use this labeled data to predict a class for classification or to predict the best value for a regression problem. What is labeled data is some input data with the corresponding output data that we want to guess. So why do we need this? Because for the training process, we need to compute the error between the predicted value predicted by the model and the real value, the value that we want the model to guess. And we want to compute this error because this error is used to train the model. So because we need the real value to compute the error, we need to have this information, and we call this labeled data. For example, here, for the problem of predicting the real sale price of a house, we give the model the house features, the house characteristics, just like surface of the house, surface of the ground, and number of rooms, and so on, and we give it to the exact sale price that this house has been sold before. So the model will try to compute a sale price, predict a sale price, and be able to compute the error between this predicted value and the real sale price. And this error will be used to correct the model. If the error is big, we will do a big correction to the model. If the error is small, we will do a small correction. It's the same for the classification problem. Here, for example, an example of we want to predict the species of a flower based on these characteristics of this flower, the color, for example, the number of petals or the length of the flower. And to do this, with supervised learning, we need some example data with all these inputs on the real species of this flower. For example, we ask a botanist to give us this real value. And this will be used to teach the model, and the model will be able to compute this the error between its predicted value and the real value that we have here. For example, here, the problem of the house price estimation. The real estate agent has historical values of all the houses that it has sold before. for example, this house with this characteristic has been sold 3,000 euro, for example, and it takes 2 months to be sold. And we have all these characteristics. And we want to train a model to predict for this new house that we don't ever sell. We want to predict the price and to predict the time used to be for this house to be sold. So we want to design a model. For input, we will have these three values, here, here, and here, and we want the model to predict these two values. So, yes, excuse me. So this is an example of a regression problem. Here we try to predict two numbers. Here is an example of a classification problem. We have three species of iris. Iris is this kind of flower. We have the setosa, the versicolor, and virginica. Here you have examples of three species. And we want to build a system which will be able to predict if this flower belongs to this class, or to this class, based on the width and height of the sepal and width and height of the petal. So to do this, we use just like a kind of database, a data set of examples here. So we have the four measures here in millimeters of sepal and petal width and length. And here we have the real classes. When I say real classes, it means that this flower, the first flower here, has been identified by a biologist, botanist, as a setosa. The second flower has been identified as a virginica. So to have this data, we need the expertise of a human. But with this data set of flower, we want to train a model, and this model will later be able to predict the real class based on this measure. Another way to teach a model is to use what we call unsupervised learning. Here, the output value, we don't need the real value. We don't have, for example, this information. We don't have this. So we have unlabeled value. We just have input data for all the examples, but we don't have the real output value. And with unsupervised learning algorithm, what we can do is to do some cluster. Just like, for example, if you have all these images here, we want the model to realize that all these images can be sorted into three data sets, just like here. For example, the apple, the advocate, and this fruit too. So when we use unsupervised learning, it's for example to do some customer segmentation. For example, companies like Netflix or Spotify, they have all information of their clients, the films that they are looking on, or the music that they are listening, and they want to make some group of customers which have about the same preference for music or the same preference for film, to be able later to propose them other film or other music that may interest them because they are on the same group. So the music which interests one may interest another person in the same group. So to do this customer cluster segmentation, and also understand the different group of customer, we can make some different marketing strategy. Something which is very important for a system based on learning is the ability to do some generalization. What is the generalization? Let's take an example. Imagine you have this animal which has this characteristic. It lives in South America, weight about 10 kilograms, and the length is about 1 meter. If I ask you the name of this animal, maybe few of you know this animal. And the name of this animal is Ocelot. But if I ask you which family does it belong, for example, is it a Canidae, an animal which looks like a dog, or a Felidae, which is an animal which looks like a cat? Maybe all of you will reply that we can put this animal in the class of Felidae. And this is a generalization. Generalization means that you don't know this animal. Maybe it's the first time you see this kind of animal on a picture, but you are able to put it in the right class, because previously with your parents, for example, you have been to a zoo and see some tigers, some lions, some lynx, other animals like this, and you learn the concept of what is a Felidae. It's an animal which looks like a cat, and because of the shape of this of the head, you say no, it can't be a Canidae. It can't be an animal which looks like a dog. It's an animal which looks like a cat. So you are able to do a classification task, even if among the different examples you have seen in your life about what a Felidae is, you have seen only lion and tiger and cats, but you never seen Ocelot, but you are able to classify this animal in the right category. This is generalization.